Assalamualaikum and a good day. My name is Amira Mardina. I will be the first presenter for this discussion. Again, I will be telling you a little bit about what the text is about, what the story is about, and just a little bit of the origin of the story. The text is called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. It is actually a short story written by American writer Philip K. Dick. This guy. The story was published in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction in April 1966. The short story was then adapted into a movie. There's actually two movie adaptations based off this short story. There's the 2012 edition and also the 1990 edition. The 1990 edition, the main protagonist was actually played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, this guy. But for this discussion, we have chosen the 2012 edition or version of the movie. So what is the story about? What is the story of We Can Remember It For You Wholesale / Total Recall? At first, it was hard for me to understand when I read the text, but after reading it about 3 times, I got even more confused. But then I watched the movie and tried to compare the two versions, the text and the movie, and then I finally understood what it's about. So the story is about a man named Douglas Quayle. He is a government worker and he dreams of visiting Mars. Since he is just a government worker, he obviously knows that he is unable to fly to Mars. He wants to fulfill his dream of going to Mars so bad that he was willing to create a false memory or a false experience of going to Mars into his brain. So he contacts this company called Recall that is known to be able to implant false memories into a person's brain in order to fulfill his own fantasy. He then goes to Recall to get the false memory, the fake memory implanted into his brain to fulfill his dream of going to Mars. But then later on, he starts to feel like he had been to Mars for real. He finds out that he is a trained assassin by Interplan and had killed someone previously. He was then chased by police who had been keeping an eye on him, but he made a deal with them. As long as they don't kill him, he promises to turn himself over and get his memory erased. His memory of being an assassin and that he had killed someone, he wants it to be erased by Recall. So basically, he wants his true identity completely removed, completely deleted from this world. They eventually did so, but he still remembers his true identity. He still remembers the fact that he had been to Mars and that he had in fact killed someone. The movie adaptation pretty much tells the same story. And in the movie, it actually shows that his wife was not really his wife. His entire marriage was fake. His wife was a spy. Imagine waking up thinking that you're going to have another ordinary day like you've had previously, only to find out that your wife is not your wife and that your entire marriage is a complete fraud. That sounds like me after I wake up from my dream. Anyway, that's pretty much what the story is about. I'm keeping it short so that my group mates will have more time to explain the more important aspects of our discussion. So without further ado, I pass the baton to my group mate.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Noraza and also my fellow classmates. So we meet again, but this time around it will be our last time, the last presentation for this course from group 4, and this time around I will be presenting on the similarities and also the differences of the text We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, and also the movie Total Recall. So straight to the similarities. In the text and also the movie, we can see that there is a concept of dreams and also memory. So the concept is that a person who is a double agent in his own mind as a result of memory implantation mirroring past life experiences. And also in the movie and also the text, we can also see the concept of science fiction, sci-fi, and how our future world will be. So like, yeah, you can see in the movie that there are flying cars. That got me wondering that, oh, that's flying cars look like that we should be getting in 2020. But yeah, so next, the differences. So the first difference is the location. So in the text, the setting is on Earth, but with dreams on Mars, which including the aliens. But in the movie, the location, the setting is definitely on Earth, but there is no mutants, no aliens, but they are robots. So the next difference is the protagonist of the movie and also the text. So in the text, the main character is Douglas Quayle. He is a clerk at the West Coast Immigration Bureau who lives on Earth, but his true identity is that he is an interplant assassin. But in the movie, the character is named Douglas Dog Quaid, a factory worker in UFB, United Federation of Britain, who lives in the colony because in the movie there is only 2 remaining habitable land on Earth, which is the United Federation of Britain, the UFB, and also the colony. But his true identity is named Wholesale, UFB agent turned into resistance fighter. The next difference is the primary antagonist. In the text, the antagonist is Interplan, a covert government agency, while in the movie, the antagonist is Cohagen, a character named Cohagen, which is a war veteran turned into a UFB leader. And there is a difference on protagonist's wife. In the text, her name is Kirsten Quayle, a stand-in that was hired by Interplan, while in the movie, the character is named Laurie Quaid, UFB undercover agent posing as Quaid's wife. Okay, so the fifth difference is the true mission between in the text and also the movie. So in the text, Quayle have to kill an assassination target on Mars, and he achieved that mission. While in the movie Total Recall, Quaid or Wholesale has to infiltrate the resistance and kill Matthias Lair, which is the resistance leader. So he successfully joins the resistance, but upon meeting Melina, he decides that he is on the wrong side of the conflict. So, becoming furious, Cohagen captures Wholesale, plants false memories, and then follows Quaid as he unknowingly leads UFB troops to Lair. So the last difference is the ending. I can see the difference in the ending of both the text and also the movie. So in the text, Quail voluntarily agrees to have his recollection of Mars replaced again so that Interplan will stop chasing him, but fearing that the aliens will return if Interplan kills him, Quail is left with his memories and life intact. But at the end of the movie, Kuwait or Wholesale kills Cohesion and destroys the invading robot forces along with the fall, which has long been viewed as a symbolism of the colony's operation at the hand of the UFP. So that's all from me, and I will pass the presentation to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Natin Husna Muhammad Fauzi, and today I'm going to talk about the 7 basic plot in movie Total Recall 2012 version. So the first one is overcoming a monster. Overcoming a monster is where there is an evil force that threatening our hero and their world and also the mankind. The hero has a various encounter with the evil and also the monster or the villain throughout the story, that culminating in a final death match battle where the hero only just wins through, of course. And also in Total Recall, the hero fight the villain, which is Richter, who had his own agenda, which is killing Quaid rather than taking him in. Also, in this movie, the hero was betrayed by Benny, and from there he was also attacked by the main antagonist, which is Richter. And for the second one is the quest. The quest is a familiar plot in most movie because it shows that the hero and their partner or friends are taking a journey to find or seek the truth. And throughout their journey, there must be like many dangers along the long roads, and also as if it would be much of a quest if the goal was early to attain. But ultimately, the victory is achievable. So in Total Recall, Quaid reveals memory of really being a spy, and then the company tries to make it like it never happened and sends him home. However, he feels that it was wrong and he wanted to find the truth about why this really happened and who he is really was. And from here, the journey starts. And the quest is starting from here, where he wants to find the truth about himself, his family, and also his life. And the quests are among the most popular of the stories because they are epic, because they shows an epic battle of the hero overcoming challenges, and of course viewers love them. And the last one is Voyage and Return. In this plot, the hero wanders almost endlessly or having adventures and start discovering things. For Voyage, the story may start a bit light, but after a while, the confusions and darkest problem will arise. In Total Recall, the hero is kind of confused about his identity, his life, his wife, as well as who he shall trust. So, threat and danger may cause the hero feel like he is trapped and doomed. But of course, at the end of the story, the hero finally find a way to return to be more wise. So that's all from me, and I'll pass the next presentation to my friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi, my name is Raihana Binti Razali, and now I'll present on the theme that is used in the story We Can Remember It For You Wholesale and Total Recall. We Can Remember It For You Wholesale follows many familiar themes present in this writing. One additional benefit to this particular short story would be the fact that it is not as dark or morosely cynical as his other works. There is a sense of mystery, suspense, and fun to the tale of Douglas Quayle and his slow realization that he did not always live a boring life, as he was once a master spy and assassin who killed a rebel leader on the planet Mars. He is still all of those things, which is why triggering his repressed memory that has gotten him into a lot of trouble. While there are more than a few differences between the short story and the Total Recall movie, the general plot is the same. While the over the top plot of the short story is something to marvel at, the greatest value is the subtext of the theme motivating the action of the plot, which is the alteration of human memory and consciousness. Within the first 2 pages of the short story, Dick makes a rather profound expositional statement to the reader. Was this the answer? After all, an illusion, no matter how convincing, remained nothing more than an illusion, at least objectively, but subjectively, at least the opposite entirely. In other words, whether something really happened or just believing it happened can sometimes be indistinguishable in terms of how a person reacts. Memories and experiences are recorded in the mind and then play a huge role in shaping an individual's personality. Real memory is certainly not the same thing as a false memory. However, the impact on shaping a person's mind can be the same, whether real or fake, a memory, or for that matter, an actual or false perception that can shape a person's mental state, outlook on life, and so on. This is why many people look to engage in altered stage. Visiting recall is no different than using mind altering drugs. Not so ironically because before undergoing the memory implant, recall clients are drugged. Using drugs as a means of altering thoughts, memories, and perception has been commonplace for generations. There are other more mundane but equally effective means of altering one's mind. The book Buying In greatly details how we try to shape who we are and our perception of ourselves through our consumer purchasing decision. While we do not change our memory by buying into what the current culture promotes to us, we can change how others look at through creating a ready-made image of ourselves in their mind. Through making simple purchases, much like whales buying the implanted memory of a trip to Mars, the reality is altered. When you buy into something, you are absorbing into your life, and in some instances, your purchases can have a profound effect. The path to altering our mind on a subjective level through memory implants are not reliant on a service such as recall. It is said that we could change our memories through implanted memories of an alternate life throughout excursions in entertainment. While it is not Dick's thematic theory, the argument could be made that reading fiction or watching a motion picture is a form of memory implantation. No one will be subconsciously altering your memory to believe you were a character in a film or a novel. However, the person enjoying the work may subconsciously identify with a character or an experience and connect it with deep below the surface. Perhaps in the subconscious, the person being entertained has a mind that does not distinguish between reality and the work of fiction. Therefore, false memories are experiential nature that can be created and implanted. Okay. Okay. Is there anything wrong with attempting to alter one's memory? Whether there are any serious moral misgivings to the process is irrelevant because it is going to happen anyway. In a short story, it is in Quill's nature to be obsessed with the trip to Mars. So, no attempts to wipe his memory ever actually work. It is only his nature to always seek out his hidden memories about Mars. In the real world, In the real world, it will always be human nature to twist, alter and change memory and perceptions, even if the steps to do so involve something as mundane as reading a strange science fiction story. That is all from me. Thank you. I will now pass the presentation to my group.
Assalamualaikum and hello, I am Farosna and I'll be talking about adaptation theory. So, what is a literary adaptation? It is an adaptation of a literary source. We Can Remember It For You Wholesale is a short story by American writer Philip K. Dick. It is adapted into a film, Total Recall. Total Recall keeps the same genre, which is science fiction action, but using different medium, which is visual medium. A screenwriter is responsible in the adaptation of the story that is reworked into a scenario. There are some approaches used in this adaptation process of the story. The first is substitution approach. First, the protagonist's surname is changed from Quill to Quick. I've read that maybe at the time the screenwriter thought the name Douglas Quaid is too similar with the US Vice President name at the time, which is Dan Quayle. The setting of the film is also changed. The original setting, which is futuristic, is substituted with the current setting, which is post-apocalyptic. Another approach is addition. A new character is brought to life. Vilas Cahagan, the main antagonist of the film, is an added character that is actually non-existing in the short story. Transposition approach is also used in this adaptation process. The film has a slightly different plot from the short story. In the short story, Douglas Quayle remembers stopping an invention of mouse-sized alien, but there are no aliens present in the film. Instead, Douglas Quayle fought Cohagen the detective. Next, I will pass this presentation to Nurul Mira Irdani.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to everyone. Oh, good afternoon. My name is Remeber and I'll be presenting about types of adaptation in movies. So first of all, I will be presenting about the book or the short story of We Can Remember It For You, Wholesale, written by Philip K. Dick in April 1966. So the story features a melding of reality, false memory, and real memory. The story was adapted into the 1990 film Total Recall, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and as the story's protagonist, and the film was remade into 2012, sorry, with Colin Farrell as the protagonist. So in the book, in this short story, it's about Douglas Quayle, whom his biggest dream is to visit Mars. He later then went to receive memory implants of having traveled to Mars, and one of Quayle's memories revealed that he really is a secret agent who has been to Mars. But unlike the first film, the setting is on a dystopian Earth, not Mars, and has more political themes. The film blends American and Asian influences, notably in the settings and dominant populations of the two nation states in the story, which is the United Federation of Britain, Western Europe, and the colony Australia. Okay, from the points seen here, there are very little resemblance from both movie and book, and this is because the movie is using loose adaptation for the movie, where only certain original situations or maybe storylines or characters be taken for the movie. And the first point that can be seen in the change of is the change of the character's name. For example, in the text, the main character is Douglas Quayle, but in the movie, in 1990 and 2012, both movies are using Douglas Quaid for the main character name. And second is the setting of the movie. This shows a huge difference from the original text, which is the first movie still preserved the original setting for the movie, but 2012 movie, the remade one, the setting changed into dystopian Earth and has more political themes. According to Jessica Biel, although described in the press as a remake, the star, Jessica Biel, claimed that the film is not a remake of the 1990 film, but an adaptation of the original short story by Philip K. Dick. However, Biel's own character of Melina was not actually present in the original short story by Philip K. Dick and exists only in this film and the original 1990 film. The same is true for the characters of Cohagen and Harry, along with the leader of the resistance. This version of the film also uses the names Quaid and Laurie for the main character and his wife, like the 1990 film, whereas in the original short story, there were Quayle and Kirsten. The basic story also follows that of the original 1990 film, albeit with certain changes such as keeping the action on Earth rather than Mars. Also, this version does not credit Dick as the writer. So we can see that the little resemblance due to the loose adaptation from the short story, so therefore it can be concluded as the movie Total Recall from 2012 is using uh, loose adaptation as a type of movie adaptation. So that's all for me. Thank you.